G'day. Alright, second brew in the Gen 3 today. It's 100% RedX ale. I don't know what else to call it. It's got to be a red ale, I guess. I don't usually stock or keep RedX at home because I don't use it much. I get my red colours from other things, and if you've ever tried just to colour a beer with, you know, a couple of 100 grams or a pound of RedX, you'll probably find it doesn't do what some people expect. There's not that much colour. You really got to use a lot of it. And I was reading an article from Martin at National Home Brew I mentioned before in my other videos, and how he mashes it. He was having troubles getting it to attenuate fully, which is ferment out fully, and so he put in a protein rest and an alpha and a beta rest, and mash out, of course. So I'm going to follow his instructions. He was apparently had contacted the guys at Best Malts. Did I just say that right? And they helped him, refine his brewing practices. I'm not going to do it exactly, but the mash steps I am. I'll get back to that later. So I got the 5 kilo of RedX. That was from Grain and Grape, if anyone really wants to know. And I just thought I'd give you a quick tip too. This is just a cheap especially for beginners if you don't have a set of scales. I got scales, but they're not set up at the moment, and I've only got my little ones. But I just wanted to check, and it's worth checking because you never know. The shops don't do it on purpose, but they might muck it up. And these cheapo things you can pick up anywhere just for weighing your bag at the airport. And they become very handy because you can just test that the shops in quick movement has given you the right amount. So that's what, 5 kilo and 6 grams. The bag's probably a few grams. So that's 5 kilo worth of grain. And it's always worth to check. Just in case, just in case someone's made a mistake, and you can double check your numbers in your brewing programs. So there's nothing worse getting to the end of the brew day and going, oh, my numbers are out, and you don't know why. If you do stuff like that, you'll eliminate some of the possibilities. Anyway, I'll get this milled, and we'll get into it. I'm going to start with 19 litres today, which is a bit more than I would usually use. Just because I'm going to try and rely more on the pump and the built-in step mashing rather than my way where I like to get in physical and stir all the time and add water. I'm going to try and rely on the RoboBrew itself more and just see how we go. So I'm going to start with 19 litres of water. I did think about starting with 17 and then every step adding a litre of hot water to help it along and make the steps go really fast. And I thought, no, bugger it, we'll just leave it up to the RoboBrew and we'll see how we go. They're the steps we're doing. 30 minutes at 52, 30 minutes at 65, 30 minutes at 72, and mash out at 76 for 10 minutes. To get to 52, originally with my strike water, Beersmith is saying 55. I wouldn't be surprised I have to go a little bit more. I might go with 56 strike water, and we'll see. But I'm not going to program the strike water into the RoboBrew as a step. I'll put that in later. I'll just do that manually, and then as soon as I get my, the grain in, and we're at 52, then I'll start the program. So we need to go into auto mode. And I don't know if you can see it up there, the S1, yes you can see it. We're in S1, we want to set the temp. It's 52. And the time, it's going to be 30 minutes. Now press the S1 to S6 button to go into step 2. temperature. Time 30 minutes. S3 72 for temp. Time 30 minutes. Step 4, temp. I'm guessing like once you've set these in, next time you go to set it, you won't start from 0, you'll start from your last set point. That is a guess. Time. I might go 15. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure if it factors in step time, as in between, like the ramp times in between. I'm not sure what's happening. I'll try and monitor it close today. It's a long mash. I don't know if I'll be sitting here the whole time, but yeah, we'll have a look at that. So that's it. When we want to go, you'd press start. Now it keeps it in memory, so I can go back to manual. And I want my manual temp to be about 56. So it hasn't got much to heat up. And we'll get that up to 56 for our strike water. So this was the troublemaker last brew. I'm just going to do my best. Probably not on camera, so just at the moment it's hard to do one end. And just get it straightened out, so I'm trying to get it sitting as flat as possible, and that the bottom plate's, you know, flat as possible as well. I'll come back once I've had a little fiddle. I'll just start with the main plate. I'm just going to go by eye. Don't force anything too much, you might break it, of course. I'll get this, try and get this flat. It's not really wanting to play ball. I'm not sure I'm going to get it any flatter. So that bottom one's very curved. But without weighing it down or without tying it down, I'm not sure I'm going to get it any flatter. I did have a few ideas passed on. One was to throw a few big marbles in the bottom to help keep it down. I did have an idea of using my overflow things as weights, or some, you know, stainless nuts. But the wire would be very easy. I haven't got any stainless wire. God, you could use steel anyway, couldn't you? It's only going to be in the mash for an hour, or 2 hours today. I'm just going to leave it like that. That's about as flat as I can get it by hand, without, you know, tying it down or doing anything. And we'll see how we go. Put that on. Put it in carefully this time, instead of throwing it in. I'm just going to push it down with my hand, just to make sure. And we'll whack that in. I just wanted to mention too, it's up high today. That was so I could video the screen for you easily. And when I go into cubes, I brew up high. But if you're going to put it on the ground like I have to use my plate chiller or move it, you don't really want to be moving it around full of hot wort. Look, I have moved mine. I used to pick it up at the end of brews and put it on the bench here, and I never had issues, but I have heard 1 or 2 instances where the handle has come off. So just if you're going to move it, I'd suggest try not to get it ready in the right place for the first time. But if you're going to move it, be very, very careful. Oh, if you do read through Martin's recipe, you'll notice that he changes the water and adds water, salts. And I did it on my last video, and I often do. But I chucked this into Beersmith today with my water profile, and it's saying guessing the ratio of the pH of the mash to be 5.3. That's just about spot on. So today I'm not going to add any salts to the mash, but I'm going to add some to the boil. Up to mash out temp. Turn the pump off. Don't forget you have to undo the cam locks to move it now. I'm going to turn my temperature down the bottom. I'll turn it off actually. I'm going to press pause. And this time I'm going to bung a little bit of in before I start to mix, just to try and make sure that screen's getting held down. I don't want to bung in too much, or I'm going to... I have used rice hulls today, I forgot to mention. That's what's floating. I'm not going to go right down the bottom yet. I do usually stir as I'm adding, as you've seen before. I'm just trying a different method today. If you've got someone to help, it's a lot easier. They can stir as you add. I've got the camera a bit close and I don't want to bump it, knocking the camera in. The phone, I should say. Must have been a very dry malt, because it just, I don't know, it looks a bit powdery, doesn't it? There we go, that's the last bit in. For the 19 litres there's plenty of water there. It's probably too much, but it must have been a dry malt, this one. I hope that's not going to cause me problems. I don't know. It seems to be a lot of more flour around than I usually get. There's a dough ball. But most of it's looking alright. Alright, I think that looks pretty good actually. Alright, let's get the show on the road, I reckon. It's going to be a long mash. I'll just get things going before I put the top screen on. I will put the top screen on today because I will be, even though I'll be close, It's hard to keep an eye on it for 2 hours. So we'll just see how we go first before I try attaching the top screen. Turn the pump down a bit. Don't want to go too fast. As you can see, I've shortened the hose and now I can't reach the other side. Oh, there we go. Let's pray to the beer gods that I get a lot better flow today. I'm going to take it out of manual rope mode into auto, and we'll press play. We'll see how we go. Don't take any notice of the 55 again. That's because the probe is next to the elements. I'll give it a little while to settle in, a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, and I'll 5-10 minutes I'll test it and see what temp we're at up the top. Doesn't seem to be going too bad. I mean, we're not going real fast out of here, but a lot faster than I was last week. Just turned it up. I'll just turn it back down again for a sec. We'll push this down a little bit and it's a little bit easier to judge. It's full bore. That's going quite well. It is catching up, but that's full bore. And we'll back off a bit and we'll see how it goes to drain. I can actually see that dropping now, very slowly. You might not be able to catch it on the angle you're on, but I can tell it is dropping. I'd say we're good to go. I'm trusting this now. I am still going to keep an eye on it, of course. I'm going to put the lid on. I haven't put the insulation on today, which I should have, but anyway. I just went off to rinse the lid off. It was a bit dusty. And we're doing well. I mean, it's not up full, but that's enough flow that I'm happy with. I could probably turn it up higher. That's good. Should I put the top screen on as a test? Okay, just because we're running smoothly doesn't mean I don't like to give it a stir up at the top. I'm not going to go right down to the bottom, just to make sure things are all wet and that before we whack this screen on. I have heard a few different ways of getting this on. One is to make sure it's all, you get powder, grain powder, which I've mostly washed off, or you put this in the fridge to shrink it a bit. But let's go in, we'll try and go in at room temp and the mash pipe being warm. It is pretty tight still. There is talk about them actually even getting rid of this silicone seal altogether. I don't know if that is going to go in. Oh, hang on, I got it. There we go. I'm not going to squash it down. I'm going to leave it up high enough. Right, no, it's come off. Shit. Thought I was doing alright then. I'll try again if I don't drop it in. Now this plate's warm, it might not go in as easy, or it might go in easier because the seal's wet. Now I don't want grain on top. That's going to have to do. Now let's try again. Now, so this plate is warmed up now, and it has, I can tell it's harder to get it. Oops, look at that. It's a bit painful, this, isn't it? Anyway, we'll get there. I have heard of wiggling it in like that. sideways, sideways. That's going in very easy. Now just to straighten it up. Oh, it's coming off here again. All right, I'm just going to leave it there. It's a bit skew-iff here, but it's in there. Now I don't really want this grain on top, which is a bit of a pain. It probably will come back around, and most of that is actually bloody rice hulls because they float so much. There's a little bit, a couple of bits of grain, but most of it was rice hulls. Alright, I'm happy with that. Let's cam lock. Can't get used to having to unclip it all the time to move it. We'll turn the pump on. The timer is still going. I've just left the timer going. I sort of wish I could push that down a little bit further, but anyway. That's going to do for now. I could have tried again. Of course, that was pretty close to getting it in. A little bit more practice. You'll be right. Oh, you can use this if you like. I don't know. Not sure my wort's going to get up that high. I don't want to push this down any further, just in case I need to get it out. Notice that, how it's dropped down already past the screen before I've even, just because I turned the pump off to get the lid on and things. That's good. Let me just flow. Turn the pump back on. Sometimes you've got to turn it up a bit just to get it going and then turn it back. We'll come back and check on it in a few minutes just to see how it's going. I forgot to check the temps for you. Screen saying 52 and 52. We're 13 minutes in to the step. Everything seems to be running smoothly. It has built up a little bit. Oh, the pump's going a bit faster than I usually like to have it going. Let's turn that back off a bit. Trying to do this all one-handed is hard. Well, where are we there? Perfect. Oops, keep getting it out of there. I just missed it. I was going to try and get it as it clicked over, but I've only just missed it. So we've gone into the second stage now. We're heating immediately. I probably shouldn't have both elements on, but we'll see how we go. I don't want it to take too long. It's a big step. The reason it's at 55 at the top is because it just went through a heating cycle on the 52 just before it got to the end. So you know, you get that little bit of residual heat at the bottom after you go through a heating cycle. Now we'll just wait and see. Yeah, see, it's gone to 1 already. Okay, so there's no pause cycle or ramp cycle. I guess you could program one in, like, you know, if you use one of the other steps, if you wanted to. But you know, we'll see how we go. This is what we're looking at the top. Like at the top, I have just turned that up a little bit. It was running a bit slow, but the things are going smooth. It's looking pretty clear already. Still got a bit to go, of course. Just to prove where we're at. Yeah, 2 minutes into the step, and we've got 5 degrees to go down the bottom. You know, inside the mash it's not going to be quite that warm yet. But we're going up pretty fast, actually. I didn't think it would be that fast. But I have got both elements on, which I'm not sure if that's going to end up scorching stuff onto my elements and giving me issues at the boil. but we'll find out. So that's getting up, at least at the bottom, very fast. A lot faster than I expected. But as I said, I don't think in the middle of the mash it's not going to be. I'm expecting probably at least 10 minutes or so it's going to take to get at least for the middle of the mash. But you never know. That's just a guesstimate. So that's what I was talking about before. Even though we're set at 65, once the elements go off, there's a little bit of residual heat because they'll turn off at the 65. So the bottom will heat up a little bit. But you've got to think the top of your mash is probably cooled a little bit just because that's the way things work. So that 66 going on the top of the mash is not going to hurt a thing. We are now 11 minutes in. I've bumped up the pump a little. That's why it's a bit higher, but we're still got plenty of room to move. Doesn't look as red on the camera as it does sitting here in front of me. Looks beautiful in red, but that might just be, I don't know, a setting or something. Trying to get a proper temperature reading while juggling the phone is not an easy thing to do. What are we saying here? 62, 63. Yeah, so we're still getting up there. 64, that may as well be. Actually, I should get it out off the edge and just into the wort. Yeah, so about 64, 64.5, we're getting there now. So that nearly took 20 minutes till it really all evened out. That's why I've said in a few other videos it can take 15-20 minutes. So it's totally understandable and you expect it. Whether that should have meant I should have lengthened my steps to like 45 minutes each or something. But I don't know about that either. I still think if I was to do it again next time, it will be, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to help it along with a litre of hot water. Just have even out of my HLT or the household kettle, and just get a litre of hot water, bung that straight in on your temperature changes, and it'll really help it along. You'll be surprising how a little bit like that will just give it a little kick along and help. Keep in mind that was a big step. That was from 52 to 65, so that's quite a big step. The next steps are much smaller, just a couple of degrees each. And the mash out isn't as important either, but you know the next steps are from 65 to 72, I think it was from memory. So it's a little bit smaller gap, and that'll happen quicker.